The HOLLYWOOdbets Durban July offers the most exciting and absolute best in horse racing action. 2025 sees racing sensation 8 on 18 go for his 4th Group 1 win in a season. This is something that only the likes of Horse Chestnut and more recently Captain's Ransom have achieved. Oriental Charm bids to make it back-to-back wins and give James Crawford his first Group 1 success in his own name. And talking of young trainers, Matthew de Kock, now in partnership with father Mike, aim to make it a 6th win for the stable with immediate edge. These are just 3 of the final 18 runners who've won 98 races between them and amassed 41 million rand in prize money. 15 trainers are represented from around the country with cause for celebration, as for the first time in living memory, the Eastern Cape will be represented by a precocious young 3-year-old. There's just one filly in the field from Candice Bass Robinson, who was the first lady trainer in history to win the race. That was in 2017 with the fantastic Marinaresco.
Marinaresco and El Saim, they went over the line as one.
James Crawford saddles 2 and Justin Snaith 3, spearheaded by Sire in the Making 8 on 18. We take a look at the field in current betting order. As the winner of 3 Group 1 races over 2,000 metres in 2 provinces and in open company, the 3-year-old 8 on 18 is a worthy favourite. His run started by winning the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met by half a length from the older Oriental Charm.
8 on 18, Oriental Charm, Rascallion, 8 on 18, Ace.
Returning to his own age group, he then beat Sail the Seas by 1.5 lengths in the Splash Out Cape Derby.
8 on 18, he's got a race on his hands. Sail the Seas running a cracker. Garrick's racing in 3rd, but 8 on 18. 8 on 18, the new kid on the block. He's going to win a Grade 1 and it's a 5-star performance.
He backed this up with an emphatic win by nearly 4 in the Daily News 2000.
But it's 8 on 18. They executed this with military precision, and he's waking up the stars by 4. Spumante Dolce second, Aavango. Then came Native Ruler.
8 on 18 carries a record weight for a 3-year-old in 57 kilos. He has regular jockey Richard Fourie up from draw 11.
Draws gate 11, last year's winning gate number, last year's winning saddlecloth number gets drawn by 8 on 18.
Justin, there was talk about him possibly not running. What made you decide to accept him?
The race that it is. I mean, the Hollywood Durban July is a race that doesn't come around too often, and to have the favourite and then to not run, whether we've made the right decision or not, I'm not sure yet. It is a race where you're sort of pushing to the boundaries, and you've got to push horse to a limit, because at 2,200 you've got to do a little bit of extra work. It's as simple. It's not like running a mile or anything. Plus this race takes quite a bit out of a horse. So Mike de Kock's normally the genius in ducking this race. Whenever he finds a superstar, he's actually a better trainer than me, I must be honest, in the fact that he puts it on a plane and flies it over to Dubai or something. I seem weak at that, but so my owners. We love racing in South Africa, and pretty much that's the only reason.
Weight and draw in the race?
Perfect. I'm not concerned at all. It's a draw I hope for. Last year's winner came from the draw. I think Do It Again once was drawn 11. Dancer's Daughter was 13. Do It Again in one of the races was 16. So the inside draws are bad luck for me. I'm so glad I'm not in that inside. So I'm very happy.
And his workout today, Justin?
Easy. Everything's easy about him. A half pace, easy. You're always saying, oh, that horse was going fast and that horse was doing that. He was cruising. And he's just cruising, yeah.
The 4-year-old Oriental Charm, who's trained by James Crawford, is back to defend his crown.
Yes, Cousin Casey flying. Cousin Casey on the inside, Oriental Charm from Cousin Casey. Royal victories right there.
Oriental Charm hard up on the outside.
Having not raced since running second by half a length to 8 on 18 in the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met.
Second has gone the way of Oriental Charm.
He was in fine form when finishing ahead in second behind Dave the King in the Group 1 HOLLYWOOdbets Gold Challenge.
Dave the King clings to the lead. Cosmic Speed won't go away. Oriental Charm's fighting right back in the middle. Dave the King just the leader and Oriental Charm. It's close. I think Dave the King won it from Oriental Charm.
Oriental Charm shoulders top weight of 60 with JP van der Merwe in the irons from pole position.
Oriental Charm, he was in gate 11 last year. Gate number 1, pole position for Oriental Charm.
Tim, Oriental Charm, can he go back-to-back in this race?
Of course he can. Yes, like he's shown his class. I think last time out was a fantastic prep run. He got pipped in a grade 1. That was obviously, you know, we probably left a bit of meat in the bone, as they like to say, for this and in the Champions Cup coming up. You know, he's got a hard season coming up. We're happy with the draw. We were wondering if maybe being drawn on the inside too much there could be a bit of scrimmaging and you can find trouble early on. But he's got a lot of gate speed. I don't think they'll catch him.
This will be his second run after a rest. Is that an issue for you at all?
Spoken about this with my dad, and I think it's just about the way you prepare them. We won a lot of races back in the day coming second round off a rest, and usually, I mean, you give him a run and then go for the big race. So I don't think that's an issue at all.
The Mike and Matthew de Kock trained 3-year-old Immediate Edge has been prepped on the high veld. Having won 3 on the trot, he went missing in the Tab SA Derby. A promising run in the Betway non-black type Secretariat Stakes and a win in the Group 3 Jubilee Stakes saw him book his place.
But Immediate Edge is well clear in the Jubilee Stakes, and Immediate Edge will go on to win it. Olivia's Way flew up for second. Atacus Finch maybe third. Navajo Nation, Tamarisk Tree Musical Score, and Son of Raj.
Immediate Edge carries the minimum weight for a 3-year-old in 53 kilos. He has Kannemeyer aboard from barrier gate 10.
And Immediate Edge has drawn in gate number 10 right in the middle of the field. Well done, Chris.
You have great success with 3-year-olds in the race. Is Immediate Edge in the same mould as those winners?
Yeah, he's not as exposed as a lot of them at a very high level. He's on his way up the ladder, but he's also a tremendous amount of ability, and his rating currently is not a reflection of his ability. But I mean, that's understandable because he hasn't really given the handicappers a chance to rate him properly. He's a horse that for me will finish up in the 120s when he's done.
Draw 10?
Yeah, good draw, very happy with that.
4-year-old The Real Prince, who's trained by Dean Kannemeyer, is well bred, being a brother to multiple Group 1 winning sprinter Gimme A Prince. Although The Real Prince has also won at the sprints and up to a mile in the listed Jetmaster Stakes, he's yet to try further.
The Real Prince, he shot away, he's in overdrive, and this is a massive win. He's going to win with his head in his chest by 5 lengths. Rapidash second, Mu Capitano third, and Billy Bowlegs in fourth.
The Real Prince is allocated 56.5 with Craig Zaki in the irons from Stallgate 5.
The draw is number 5.
Dean, can he get the trip?
Well, I'm quite confident that he'll get the trip. You know, that stamina is going to come from the second dam, and he's a completely different horse to his brother. Gimme A Prince. He's got a wonderful temperament, and he switches off completely in a race. You can be wherever you want to be with him, and he's got a good turn of foot. We gave him one run in the Drill Stakes, which was a fantastic run, and he wasn't blowing much off that, so we stayed out of the other races. He had a gallop the other day at Summerfeld, 10 days ago. Bottom track and up the hill, good pace work, he worked well. And then today we finished it off by jumping from the 1400 and picking it up to the 1200, and then through the 800 pick it up, and then stretch the last 400. We wanted to just feel it that last 400, and I worked him with a horse that's a strong worker, because I didn't want to make him look smart and look pretty, so I wanted him to feel it the last 400, which he did. So I was very pleased with the gallop. Looked at my recovery rate very good. So all good going into the race. I've got to be positive, but he's got a touch of class, and he's not an over-raced horse. So you need a lot of luck, but he's doing well.
The 3-year-old On My Honour, who's trained by Glenn Cotson, has had 2 group runs in the province, finding the frame both times. His close-up third to Madison Valley and Underworld in the HOLLYWOOdbets Group 3 Dolphins Cup trial was enough to book his place.
Madison Valley continues to find, though, it's a close call. Madison Valley won it, maybe On My Honor second and Underworld third.
On My Honor is allocated 53 with Samanga Kumalo in the saddle from stall 3.
And Glenn has gone for gate number 3.
Well, you know, we were just chatting now, and Chad said when he was a 2-year-old, he said, this will be our July run. I said, oh, let's hope we got one. And yeah, I mean, the gallop was superb. Samanga got off and he just said, wow, that's all he could say. He said, it's so nice that I've got a chance to ride him on the grass before the big one. He's worked him at home a couple of times, I was very impressed, but he said, that action, you can quicken up so easy. He said, yeah, it couldn't blow out a candle, which is great. So touch wood, you know, to win the big ones, everything has to run smoothly. We've only got, what, 10 days to go or 9 days to go. It's very exciting, and geez, we just can't wait. He's an exciting horse to have with a lovely galloping. You know, it's the handicap, so we've planned it that we didn't. We came with bottom weight. That's what can win you the big one, and hopefully we've done it right.
The Andre Null-trained Salqua has come into his own at 5. He's won 4th this season, including his first group race, the World Sports Betting 1900, in his last start.
Holding thumbs, but Underworld comes into the lead. Cape Eagles on the inside, Narina Trogon, and running on a Salqua. And Salqua's coming powerfully on the outside. Salqua hits the front over the last 100 metres, and it's Salqua to win it. Second, Narina Trogon, Underworld, and maybe then Aavango.
Salqua carries 54, with Serena Mudley aboard from gate 6.
Salqua has drawn number 6.
We're very pleased with the draw, but I'm sure everybody you'll interview will say very pleased with the draw, even if it's draw 18. But that's one of those things. But we are pretty pleased, and especially the way we see the race panning out. This is Byron's horse. He's loved this horse from the moment he set foot in Natal, and he's really took him under his wing and just brought him on the right way, stepped him up in divisions all the time. So the way he's progressed has been really pleasing to see.
His weight and draw in the race, and how do you see him?
We're ticking a lot of boxes. You want that kind of weight for an older horse, especially a horse that I think has still got a fair amount of improvement left in him. So he's not quite capped at the handicap.
His workout today?
You couldn't pull a smile off my face even if you tried. He really did exactly what we asked him to do. There's still a lot of horse there, so really pleased where we are at the moment.
The 5-year-old See It Again, who's trained by Michael Roberts, hopes to go one better, having twice finished close up in the race.
See It Again in Winchester Mansion, eyeball to eyeball. Here it comes, Winchester Mansion, See It Again. And down the inside, yes, Cousin Casey flying. Cousin Casey on the inside, Oriental Charm from Cousin Casey. See It Again had to be eased at a vital stage.
It was just a nose that separated See It Again from Gladatoran in his first warm-up of the season, the Independent on Saturday Group 2 drill horse stakes over 1,400 metres.
Great Plains on the inside and See It Again. On the outside of there, running on is the Real Prince, but it's Gladatoran. And on the inside, See It Again. Oh, if I had to go anyway, maybe Gladatoran from See It Again, but it's very, very close.
His second warm-up in the HOLLYWOOdbets Group 1 Gold Challenge saw him encounter interference on entering the straight. He finished 4.5 lengths behind the quartet at the head of affairs. These included Oriental Charm and Gladatoran, who he meets again here. See It Again carries 60, with the responsibility resting on Raymond Danielson to overcome the wide draw of 15.
15!
Shelley was doing very well, you know, and unfortunately this morning, when I got to the yard at about 4:45, he left half a bowl, you know, as we would take all our horses' temperatures in the morning. He had a slight elevated temperature. He usually sit on about 37.8, 38.9, and this morning he was 38.485, and you know, I was a bit concerned, but it was a warm morning at Summerfeld, and you know, he was rugged up last night. So I thought we'll let him come down and you know, just see what happens here. And coming here, you know, it went up another point, and I wasn't happy. You know, I thought to myself, because you know, obviously, you know, there's something that's not right, and you know, got precaution. You know, we've got 10 days to go, so we don't need more setback.
Hoping everything is fine, how do you see him in the race this year?
yes, unfortunately we haven't got the greatest of draws, but in hindsight, it might just suit him a bit because, before, his previous July, he always had a good draw, the horse in the inside always, you try to hold your position. Being outside, you can get a smooth run because, as everybody knows, he's a horse that comes from behind. So, there's no rush. The only concern for me is, once you go behind the drill hole, you like to be 2 off the fence max, to run 3 wide in July, it's a big task, especially with big weight. We're going to need luck. I know how good he is, he's a special horse and he's a good horse, and so if all is well and we get a smooth run, I think, he'll be knocking on the door.
He's a special horse, I know to you, but to a lot of us as well, so just all the best.
Thank you.
The 5-year-old Gladatoran, who's trained by Stuart Ferry, is in a rich vein of form. He touched off See It Again to claim the Independent on Saturday Group 2 Drill Horse Stakes over 1,400 metres.
On the outside of there, running on is the real Prince, but it's Gladatoran, and on the inside, See It Again. Oh, if I had to go anyway, maybe Gladatoran from See It Again, but it's very, very close.
He reappeared with an eye-catching third in the closely contested finish to the HOLLYWOOdbets Group 1 Gold Challenge.
Dave the King clings to the lead. Cosmic Speed won't go away. Oriental Charm's fighting right back in the middle. Dave the King just the leader, and Oriental Charm, it's close. I think Dave the King won it from Oriental Charm, and Gladatoran was taking off late.
Gladatoran has only once gone past a mile. That was in December when he won a Pinnacle Stakes over 1750 at HOLLYWOOdbets Scottsville.
Gladatoran's in front, and Gladatoran will win it. Q-Wing second, Celtic Beauty third.
Gladatoran shoulders 60 with Sean Veal in the saddle from draw 16.
16! You know what? I don't think that'll trouble Sean Veal. Gladatoran.
Stuart, can he go the trip?
Listen, you never know until you're gone, but Jaco, the breeder, phoned me the other day and he said, don't worry, it's Dynasty Mare and Vercingetorix, he'll get the trip. So, yeah, listen, you never know, but I mean, he wasn't stopping in the 1750 at Scottsville with 62, so we'll know on the first Saturday in July. Listen, the weight's a bit of it's obviously the lighter you want to be the other B. I mean, he's got £4 penalty, which was a bit harsh, but if he's good enough, he must. That's his rating. So, and the draw, bad draw's a bad draw, but with his running style, it's not a complete train smash. He's gonna hopefully get lucky and slot in 3/4 of the way back, which would be the plan anyway.
What did you make of his workout this morning?
No, very happy. Say it was nice and quietly. He hadn't done a lot since the Gold Challenge, so he had a nice blow, but recovered quickly at the back. He's recovered nicely. So yeah, very happy.
The Frank Robinson-trained 4-year-old Madison Valley bounced back to form in the nick of time with a win in the HOLLYWOOdbets Group 3 Dolphins Cup trial.
Madison Valley continues to find, though, it's a close score. Madison Valley won it, maybe on Mahana second and Underworld third.
Madison Valley carries 54 with Gavin Larena aboard from Gate 2.
Draws gate number 2.
Madison Valley came really well last year over champion season, and he looks to be doing that again. How did you rate his gallop here this morning, and what was the comment coming back?
Gavin was very happy. He got off, he said he's spot on. You couldn't ask for more than that. He was moving well. He said he fit, he wasn't blowing. No, he's in a very good space. We gelded him in December, and it took a while just to get him back, but he's thriving now. He's doing very, very well now, and I couldn't be happier with that. That was spot on, that gallop.
What do you make of his weight and draw in the race?
Yeah, well, he's got everything a lot in his favour. I wanted to come into race with that type of weight. As a 4-year-old, that's the right way to come in at 54, and we've got 2 draws, so everything's going well now.
Exciting for you in the stable?
Yeah, it's obviously a big boost for the stable, more for Sid than me, but anyway, it's always exciting.
Nathan Kotson saddles the 5-year-old Royal Victory, who ran third by 1.5 lengths to Oriental Charm in the race last year. This year, he's followed a similar route coming into the race with comparable performances. He raided the Highveld to win the Hong Kong Jockey Club Whirlpool Group 1 Premier's Champions Challenge over 2,000 metres last year, whilst this year he ran a close second in the same race to Fire Attack.
But now Royal Victory comes up to Fire Attack. Royal Victory, Fire Attack is coming back on the outside, and Fire Attack and Royal Victory. Fire Attack got up. The 3-year-old.
Both years, he then had a warm-up at HOLLYWOOdbets Scottsville, finishing a similar distance behind the winner, Dave the King, on both occasions.
They're not going to get to Dave the King. Back to best and wins it by about 3. Royal Victory second, Cherry Anu and Rapidash.
Royal Victory shoulders 59 with Muzi Yeni up, jumping 1 from the outside at 17.
Royal Victory has drawn gate number 17.
Nathan, tell me what happened with the gallop this morning.
You know, Michelle, he's a difficult customer, even at home. Daryl Daniels, if he rides him, he goes. But he seems to only get on with Daryl. He jumps away with Daryl, no problem. But when I put other jockeys on, he just refuses. But I went down there and had a chat with him, and we got him going. Muzi was happy with him. He said he quickened up nicely. I'm going to put a pair of blinkers on him for the race, just to get his mind on the job. Look, obviously you'd like to have a less weight, but 59 is a dual Group 1 winner, so he deserves the weight. I thought, he was quite close to that 3-year-old of the favourite, only getting 2 kilos, which I'm very happy with. Look, Michelle, the draw too, obviously everyone says, oh, bad draw, but he comes from off them. I think, sometimes it could play into our favour. I thought it was a very open July, not much. You can't really pinpoint one out besides Justin's 3-year-old.
Atacus Finch has picked up the lead here.
The 5-year-old Atacus Finch from the stable of Alec Laird won the Group 1 Betway Summer Cup in November.
Atacus Finch beat on Purple Pitcher.
Although he's not found the winner's box since, he's been Group 1 placed behind Fire Attack, Royal Victory and Purple Pitcher in the Hong Kong Jockey Club Whirlpool Premier's Champions Challenge. He had a good prep in the Group 3 Jubilee Stakes when conceding 8 kilos to Immediate Edge. He crossed the line just under 3 lengths back in third.
But Immediate Edge is well clear in the Jubilee Stakes, and Immediate Edge will go on to win it. Olivia's Way flew up for second. Atacus Finch maybe third. Navajo Nation.
Atacus Finch will enjoy a 4-kilo turnaround in the weights here. He's allocated 57 with Calvin Habib in the saddle from draw 4.
Number 4, the guys are choosing well.
Yeah, we have Atacus Finch in his stable in Randkiersfontein, a cold Johannesburg. He's normally quite photogenic, but I'm disturbing him now. But he'll travel down on Sunday a little early. We're bringing him early because he's not a very good traveller. So he's got a few days to get over it. Otherwise, he's done his prep here very well. He's in good shape. Stronger horse than last year, so we're fairly hopeful for the big one on the 5th of July.
Stable companion to Oriental Charm is the 6-year-old Pomodoros Jet. He's an 8-time winner, having won his last 3 on the trot, landing the listed Wolf Power 1600 in his penultimate.
Inside command pilot Texas Red still progresses, but Pomodoros Jet still has a good advantage inside the final 100 metres, and it's Pomodoros Jet going strongly that last bit for the Crawfords, and Pomodoros Jet and Gavin Larena, they've got it won by 3.5. Second Chestnut Bomber, Texas Red was third.
Pomodoros Jet carries 55.5 with Atandiwe Magudwa in the irons from gate 8.
Draws 8, you've done well, Tim. They'll invite you back again next year.
Unfortunately, his prep got hindered. He just went off his food a bit before his last run, and we had to scratch him, and that was going to be the prep for this. Lucky to have got into the race, however, and he's a class horse. He's looking well. We'll be hoping for a big run.
My best shot is an Eastern Cape Raider trained by Alan Creef. He's the winner of 10, including his last 6 in a row. 3 of these have been listed races, and although he couldn't do more than win, this will be an acid test and a mighty step up in class. That said, Alan Creef has already tasted Group 1 success this champion season.
My best shot is going to pull it off. He's won the East Cape Sophomore Challenge all 3 legs, and he's done it in fine style by 5 lengths.
My best shot is allocated 53 kilos with Chase Mojan in the irons from Stallgate 9.
My best shot is drawn in gate number 9, and it's all worked out beautifully, and I'm sure Alan Creef will be delighted with
my best shot. Well, he's the July entry from the Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth, and exciting times for us ahead. Be our first runner in the July, and quite exciting to make the trip up to Natal for the day and watch him run. I think he's done everything that he's needed to do to earn himself a spot in the July, tick the right boxes, and he now goes into the big league. I don't think he's out of place in a field like this, and definitely be exciting to seam. They've been working pretty well at home and had a nice gallop the other day, over 1,400 meters, and I was happy with him and excited to have our first July runner from the Eastern Cape in many years.
And it is Aavango starts to light up.
The 3-year-old Aavango is the second of Justin Snaith's runners. He won his seasonal debut before placing in both the World Sports Betting Group 3 1900 and the Group 1 Daily News 2000.
Salqua hits the front over the last 100 meters, and it's Salqua to win it. Second, Arena Trogon, Underworld, and maybe then Aavango. It's 8 on 18. They executed this with military precision, and he's waking up the stars by 4. Spumante Dolce second, Aavango. Then came Native Ruler.
Aavango is allocated 54.5 with Andrew Fortune up from gate 13. It's the same draw that Dancer's Daughter won from for Justin Snaith in 2008.
The good thing with Andrew Fortune is that Andrew might not be the strongest in a finish. He's not on the horse for that. He's on the horse because he places a horse really well. He has got good experience. So from a 13 draw, he can just place him wherever he wants. He can follow 8 and 18 if he wants. He's a young horse. I think he's better than his Daily News run. So I think it's a very important thing for the public. I do think if things had gone better for him into the race, I think he would have run a clear second. So I think for punters, just know that I think there's a little bit more than the Daily News.
His work today?
Easy. You want them like that, chasing him up the hill. You don't want the horse that's coming around the hill and is shaking like this. Remember Pomp and Power?
Yes, I do.
I want the horse that the guy's chasing up the hill. That's the horse you want. And then come into the straight and he starts like, let's go. Yeah. That's what you want.
I was happy with his gallop. He strode out well. I didn't expect, he's a very inexperienced horse, so I didn't expect him to do more than that on his own. But I was happy and just ready for the big day.
How do you see him in the race? Do you reckon you can give them a go?
He's had a very good prep. He's had 3 runs into the race, and if we can beat 8 on 18 and that, we're going to try. I don't think he's as good as 8 and 18, but we're definitely going to try.
The Fabian Habib-trained 3-year-old Confederate won the 1800-meter tab Group 1 SA Classic by 3/4 of a length from Fire Attack.
And Confederate is going on to win the tab Classic. Fire Attack is finishing late down the inside, but Confederate beat Fire Attack.
The form's been franked as Fire Attack won the Hong Kong Jockey Club Whirlpool Group 1 Premier's Champions Challenge. Confederate came back from a 3-month break when second by half a length in the non-black type Igorli Mile.
It's on the outside Confederate, but here comes Schwarzenegger, and Schwarzenegger got up to beat Confederate.
Confederate carries 53.5 with the visiting Warren Kennedy up from gate 14.
Confederate last time, he obviously needed his last start in the Igorli Mile. Brought him on plenty. Never ran since the SA Classic. He's got 53.5 on his back. I'm happy with draw 14. I'll make him a big runner. He's a type of horse that never disappoints. He's never missed the first 2. It's all up to God. You know what, it's a competitive field, but Confederate's doing very well back around.
Warren, lovely to have you back in South Africa, even if it's only a brief visit.
Yeah, Michelle, it's lovely to be back. Nice to see all the faces I remember, and look, it's like I've just stepped back into racing here, and it's like I never left, really.
Tell me about Confederate.
Yeah, I thought he went very good. I went to gallop him on Monday on the sand at Turfentine, went 1400. He gave me a nice feel. He's super fit. He feels really good. He's in a good space, so I was pretty happy with his gallop. I've had a look at the field. I've been out of it for 3 years, so I don't really know the form lines that well, but there looks to be some really nice horses in the field. There's a lot of 3-year-olds that really are unknown at this sort of level, at this distance. There's a couple also that are going the trip for the first time. So there's a lot of unknowns in the race. Look, I've heard a lot about 8 on 18. That's what the word going around. That other horse, Oriental Charm, who won it last year. It's difficult to watch races there. You've got to stay up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the big races. Yeah, but we do it. But yeah, keep in touch with African racing. But the field looks like a decent sort of a field. Look, those 2 look like the horses that we've got to beat. But look, it's the July and anything can happen in that race.
The Robin Klaasen-trained 4-year-old Purple Pitcher has shown signs of coming back to his earlier Group 1 winning form.
But now Royal Victory comes up to Fire Attack. Royal Victory, Fire Attack is coming back on the outside, and Fire Attack and Royal Victory, Fire Attack got up.
Purple Pitcher shoulders 57.5 with Cabello Matsunyani up from draw 12.
12. Purple Pitcher has drawn gate number 12 to be ridden by Cabello Matsunyani.
Purple Pitcher's doing very well at home. He's come through his prep runs extremely well, and I'm very happy with where he's at the moment. I do think that his last run was a little bit disappointing, and I was hoping to see more, but it was too short for him, and I think especially at a track like Greyville, he could be forgiven for that. I think that he comes into the race off a competitive weight. If you look at horses like See It Again, Royal Victory, and Atacus Finch, he's beaten these horses before at similar weights. Obviously, the draw at 12 is not ideal for a horse that prefers to race handy, but it could be worse, and I think we were lucky enough to be drawn near some really competitive horses and potential pacemakers, and that could possibly give us the opportunity to go forward and find a position. I'm very happy to have Cabello back on him. He is the only jockey to ever win on him, and unfortunately last year he had other commitments. I do think that he gets the best out of him, and we could possibly see a different horse this year. I prefer his prep this year. I think it's very difficult for a horse to come out of the Derby into the July, whereas this year we were able to do a lot more speed work, and he's had more of a quiet prep, which I think is better for a tough race such as the July. I think he's also one of the few horses in the race that have absolutely zero stamina doubts, having won the Derby, and I think all things considered, he must be in with a shout.
The only filly in the race is the Candice Bass Robinson-trained 4-year-old Rainbow Lorikeet. She's the winner of the Sorgo Sun Summer Fling Stakes over 2,000 metres, but she's also been Group 1 placed behind Double Grand Slam. Her first run in the province was unlucky when carrying 59, she was a length and a half off Little Susie in the Group 2 Tote Willavington.
Rainbow Lorikeet starting to build up ahead of steam, but Little Susie runs across Rainbow Lorikeet. My Soulmate's a big runner on the outside. Beating Wings also trying to come through. Rainbow Lorikeet just can't find a way through. And it's Little Susie the last 100. Little Susie, they put the money down like soldiers. From in second, My Soulmate, Mocha Blend, and Rainbow Lorikeet.
Rainbow Lorikeet carries 53 with Diego de Gavea from a favourable draw of 7.
Terry, how nail-biting was it waiting to see if Rainbow Lorikeet was going to make the field?
Yeah, initially it was just like I said, we got to show up. You know, we're in the final call, and 7 had to be eliminated, so we were just holding thumbs that we weren't one of them. And her being a filly, I thought in the back of my mind that the Durban July, the HOLLYWOOdbets July deserves to have a filly in the race. She's came up in Durban with some solid Cape form, and she wasn't disgraced in the Willavington, suffering a little bit of interference. But with regards to pulling the draw, I spoke with Candice last night, and we were just a bit of a lull at the end of our WhatsApp, and I said, what number would you like? She says, anything better than 9. So I said to her, well, 7 is my favourite number. So ironically, I managed to pull out a 7, which is, for people who do follow numbers, who don't, with suspicions in racing and superstitions, it worked in our favour.
And here comes Rainbow Lorikeet, stretching out very nicely.
She needed the gallop. The last run was the Willavington, so it was a while back. Diego gave her a good stretch. He was happy with her, gave a good comment. He said she gave a good blow at the pull-up, but by the time she got back to the ring, you wouldn't think she's done much work because she wasn't blowing at all. She must have a really good lung capacity because she's also always shown me that after her work that I've given her at home, she recovers within 10 minutes. That's a good sign. But she's in a good space, you know. We've got a lovely draw, nice for the Yuppie Syndicate. I mean, they are an enthusiastic bunch of guys. They're oozing excitement for the big day.
Stable companion to 8 on 18 and Aavango is Native Ruler. He's a one-time winner but been multiple group placed. In his last start, the Group 1 Daily News 2000, he crossed the line in 4th by over 4 lengths to 8 on 18.
Spumante Dolce second, Aavango. Then came Native Ruler.
Native Ruler shoulders 54 with Tristan Godden aboard from the widest gate of all.
If you told me before the draw what draw could I have, and you said to me 18, I will take the 18. Absolutely. Out the trouble, there's going to be a complete and utter bun fight. Out the trouble on the 18. Tristan can just have fun in the race, and in doing that, give him every chance that he can possibly have. We don't have to hold our position, we don't have to do anything. He's a young horse, let him enjoy it. His gallop today for me was actually one of the better gallops, to be honest. No sweat, he's a chestnut. I don't think he broke a sweat today. That's very interesting. And I just think that what I do like about what I've brought to the table in this race, I've brought young horses. I've taken my older, I could have run 2 more horses in here and kept some of the other horses out, older horses. And I just feel I'd rather just have young horses in this race that haven't quite reached their full potential. And the more they doubt about those horses, the better for me. Makes me train better.
The 2025 HOLLYWOOdbets Durban July is carded as race 7 and jumps from the 2200 metre mark at 1600 hours. Be sure to catch the best in horse racing action.